final hour, 9 to noon. Yesterday, we were on site, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center in Eagan, and extended chat with the head coach, Kevin O'Connell, that's podcastable with the free iHeartRadio app. But after the show, Viking safety Josh Metellus jumped into the radio studio. He's like, I got to talk with PA. So extended conversation with the safety. Josh Metellus started out with PA simply saying, hey, how you doing?
I've been great, Paul. How you been?
Good. Good to see you, and good to see you at the state fair too. I mean, you're walking around all happy and everything.
With the fam.
At the early stages of off-season workouts? Is it great to get back here and see people you haven't seen for a while, that maybe with whom you played last year? Mm-hmm. So many new people. Like you're a happy guy. Mm-hmm. You're a nice guy, and a very good football player. But nevertheless, it's not always a grind, is it? This is like a good time of the year.
Yeah. This is the time of the year where, you start to build those relationships, those foundations, that you lean on, knee deep in December or January. You start to build those relationships right now. You start to go to the bowling alley, go to basketball games, shout out to the Timberwolves, making it to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But, you start to do things like that, just learning guys outside the building, mm-hmm. going to coaches' houses, learning guys, what they like to do outside of football. And then that builds that relationship that you lean on throughout the season.
Now, the Timberwolves in the playoffs, you mm-hmm. mentioned, are you an NBA fan?
Yep, I am.
So
I'm a big Timberwolves fan, too.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so now you're fifth year from Michigan, mm-hmm. okay, but you're by way of North Miami, right?
Yep.
Pembroke Pines?
Yep, North Miami, Pembroke Pines.
It's Pembroke or Pembroke?
Pembroke.
Got it. Okay, so you're probably not a Pistons fan from the Wolverines days. You're probably a Heat fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a big Heat fan. Dwayne Wade's favorite player.
Yeah.
Growing up, loved Wade. We call it Wade County. I'm from Dade County, but we call it Wade County.
That's sweet.
He brought City a championship in 2006 when I was a kid, and mm-hmm. then did it again when Braun and Bosch came into town. So yeah, growing up, that was like my superhero when it came to basketball.
And Dwayne Wade, obviously HOF, but
mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said that about the Heat, because there's a player for the Miami Heat who reminds me of you, and he's one of my all-time favorite players. He was here for a minute, Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm, Jimmy.
Okay, now Jimmy is HOF, mm-hmm. and maybe you'll get to HOF too. That'd be great.
That's the goal.
But what I'm saying, he's scrappy, and he does the non-obvious, mm-hmm. and he has something to him that we all saw in you last year, where you got to be careful, because, okay, Jimmy's left may not be as good as the right. Go ahead and, disrespect it. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's going to go left and dunk on you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, my nickname for him is the Bulldog. He's so tough. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler, man, he's a fantastic player.
Yeah, and the mindset, I think, is trumps everything. I think that's mm-hmm. his superpower, mm-hmm. to have that overwhelming confidence and that overwhelming just feistiness in those moments that, the team needs you most. That's the guy I want to be. I want to be the guy the team leans on when you need something, to happen, no matter what it is. He can play defense. He can go take that steal to ignite the team. He'll go mm-hmm. dunk on you, go left, go dunk on you, like you said. And, just the I really look up to his game as well. Really his mindset and how he approaches it.
All right. So with the Timberwolves, who begin their series against the Suns Saturday on KFAN, it's like when you play a football game now, it's more of a team game than mm-hmm. basketball. A has to get to B, has to get to C, has to get to D, just for a play to work. Mm-hmm. Basketball, we're going to isolate Jimmy, and Bam's going to set the pick. We're going to do this with Tyler, mm-hmm. and then all of a sudden there goes the lane, and you score. And I'm not disrespecting basketball. It's hard to play. But like for the Wolves, so they're going to face the Suns, who beat them 3 times this year by 15 mm-hmm. and a half points per game. Mm-hmm. And, even the state of hockey and hockey fans who don't follow the NBA would know the name Kevin Durant, mm-hmm. maybe Devin Booker, probably not Bradley Beal, but he's out of Washington and he's a badass.
He's a baller.
So when you come into games and the names on the other team are, holy cow, these guys have beaten us X amount of times over mm-hmm. 3 years, like do you have not trick yourself? But when you're playing like the Chiefs last mm-hmm. year, okay, the Chiefs or the 49ers, both games here, 1-1, arguably should have won the other. How do you look at that when a team's full of superstars?
Yeah, you start to, I think that's a good question. I think you start to just look within and, you start naming off, like in that time, all right, damn, they got Trent. Speaking of the 49ers, then I look, we got Daniil. kind of thing. You start to, we got Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
We had Jordan Hicks. We had multiple guys who I knew and I had trust in to make plays.
Yeah.
And, they got us before, but new day, new opportunity. Different game plans. I like Ann said it best. He said, they have KD. He said, we got Jaden. We know what Jaden's able to do on the defensive end, and his teammate trusts that. And he finds comfort in that. And not the discomfort in, we lost 3 times already this year. We find comfort in knowing that you got guys on your team like Rudy who can stop anybody on the court at a time. So that's all it is. As a competitor, your teammates are the ones, you find your comfort and your trust in, because those are guys you go to battle and war with. So that's all it is.
Well, so that's what a wonderful, wonderful explanation, because think about that Chiefs game. Okay. Tooth and nail with a team that's going to win the Super Bowl. And you get all squared away for Pacheco and Mahomes and Kelsey and all that. And then it's Justin Watson making a massive catch
on 3rd down.
There you go. Look at the Suns. Get all squared away for KD and Booker and Bradley Beal. Grayson Allen shooting 55%, hitting 4 3-pointers a game he averages 20 a game against the Wolves. Good for Grayson. But into the series, in Phoenix's 4 losses up to the end of the season, Grayson Allen shot 32%, like 10% from 3. And so, like the secondary type players, that's that you can't sleep. They are so frequently the stars. You know what I mean?
Most good teams have great 6-man. So, they have those guys who would come in and, change the game at any given moment.
So with the off-season workout in the early stages, with what you're doing with conditioning, hopping, skipping, stretching, just a bunch of different things in the field house, what do you look to accomplish this time of the year?
I think, on the field is a lot of fundamentals. For one, physical conditioning. That's what Flo likes to say a lot. Physical conditioning precedes all else. So, we're trying to, build that foundation so that way, when we're on a long drive in the fourth quarter, we're able to, buck up when the offense, is feeling good that they're about to score. So that's what, this part is about, is building that foundation, building those relationships I talked about on the field as well when we slow things down. Being able to talk to each other in ways, that we can understand later when the bullets are flying. And then it's about, just building the culture. We got a lot of new players. And we lost a lot of players. So it's all about, finding who the leaders are going to emerge as, and who are the guys, you can lean on and depend on, and just build that brotherhood and that culture so that way we have something to bank on in August. So Josh Metellus is our guest, 5th year from Michigan. All right. So with everything, all of us, radio, people in TV, mock drafts, whole thing, it's the Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, then you get Penix and Nix and just all people talk about quarterbacks, A, because the Vikings have 2 picks in the first round, B, because the guy who probably will start the season is on a 1-year deal, and thirdly, because this is a super legitimately deep quarterbacks draft. Well, you're throwing me for a loop here, all right? And I would never ask you, even if you knew, what are they going to do? That's just not me. However, you're throwing me off this way. You're from Michigan, which means we have a McCarthy, Come on, bring in that Wolverine. You roll in here wearing Tar Heel baby blue with your sweatshirt. And when we were talking about basketball, you didn't say McDaniels, you said Jaden. You got me all messed up right now. Draft's a week away, man. That's the goal.
Holy cow.
To throw any mix-ups I can out there, trying to, stir the pot as much as I can. Because, like you said, I don't know anything. But it's good to act like you do sometimes.
Right. Did you ever come up with a name for that podcast? And are you doing the podcast?
The podcast is still in effect.
You're doing it. Or you're planning it.
It's getting there.
Okay.
But the name, actually, we almost thought of a name.
Wow.
There's another one that jumped up the list.
I have a suggestion.
I had a name, so it can make the list.
Go ahead.
We have 2 right now on the list. I'm hoping to get the podcast.
Can you share?
Going,
or you want to keep them?
I got to keep them. when the podcast,
Joshing with Josh.
First day come out, we'll put the name out. But right now we got a couple.
Right.
Still in effect though.
My suggestion when I wrote this down was Metellus Matters.
Metellus Matters.
Okay.
I like that.
Well, you got your name in it, so that's going to pull people people in for the hits and subsequently the advertising. You do matter, but Metellus matters. Like matters of the world or the NFL. Metellus matters.
I like it.
You going to use it?
We'll see.
It's $1,000 for the idea.
$1,000?
Yeah, but it goes up every week.
Just put yourself down a list. You're going to put yourself down the list. The other guy told me it was free for the first one.
Great,
and,
but Metellus
the second
Matters.
one I had to pay for. So.
Metellus Matters might be better than the other two names you're not sharing. The suggestion's $1,000.
Already out there, though.
That's how, and I know you got a contract into the season. But it's every week it goes up $1,000. So it's
either now or wait. I'll take my chances with it.
You're the best. And you're also quite stylish, with the way you dress and everything. So stylish, you can't see him at Vikings.com right now, or certainly see him on the radio, KFAN, with when this is playing. But props to you, man. You're bringing cargo pants back into style.
I'm trying to.
I mean, it's like, I wore shorts to the state fair 2 years ago, cargo shorts, like with the big pockets. I mean, it's like people are just teasing me and they're out of style.
How about
bro, I'm 57.
I wear cargos to a game this year in a nice, stylish outfit to bring them back. Just for you.
No, you are with these jeans.
Ones. These are more like sweats. These are like cargo sweats. If you feel the material, they're actually pretty comfy.
Those are nice.
Because you're sitting around the meetings all day. You don't want to sit in jeans.
Right, but I mean, when you have the big pockets like you do with cargo shorts or these cargo pajamas you're trying to put into style, is you put too much stuff in the pockets, it wears down the pants.
Yeah, you start to,
and then now you're thinking about it.
Exactly.
And I don't want that nobody wants that to impact your quick twitch when you're out there hitting people and stuff like
pockets.
that.
That's why I keep the bag empty.
You know
pockets.
what I mean? Your division's getting good in a hurry.
It is.
I mean, that division, it's like, hey, it's like what Flores and you guys did to Jordan Love at Lambeau Field. Well, that should, when watching it back, that should be a felony in 48 states. But that wasn't him at the end.
Different guy.
Right. And the Bears, like Montez Sweat. I mean, he's been a good player. Holy cow.
Played really good when he got there.
How about that? And he got paid. And same thing for you, too. And, people shouldn't have to bring this up, but like when people get a certain deal, it doesn't always go from 7 to 9 to 10. Sometimes it goes the other way because they got money.
Yeah.
Like Montez and you, both you guys got exponentially better. Is that prideful in that somebody's given me an opportunity? I'm playing more than I've ever played. Somebody believed in me really for the first time professionally and gave me this. It's important to me and my family and my name to go show you what I can do.
Yeah, it's pride, competitive nature, I like to call it. I'm a very competitive person within, outside the world, everything. So it's always about how can I be better? Can I better myself? So, it was, you get the recognition from the people upstairs. They put some trust into you. They say we want you on the team. We want to build stuff around you. And then, it's all about, can you do it on the field? Can you do it again? You showed you can be this kind of catalyst for the team. Can you take it up a step? And, they're challenging me. I'm challenging myself. And at the end of the day, it's all about, can you be better? And that's what I tell myself. Can I be better every day? Even if it's a little bit, if it's a lot of bit, can I just keep getting better?
When I first met you, whether practice squad, special teams, looking for my chip chair and chance, always humble, never, at least to what I would know. I'm certainly not, super behind the scenes here, but always accepting of your lot in life. And it's not, you guys aren't screwing me. It's my job to work through it, even if you were getting a raw deal. That's just an approach that you've had that I've always appreciated, to your humility. But things really, and props to the organization and you. Before you played a Dallas, you got your deal before the season, right? I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, that's phenomenal to not see what we saw last year and be like, no, we got to have him for next X amount of years, and to do it, and then you came through with it. So the expectations by you, I would imagine, and the team are to be even better this year, continue to improve. But there's always going to be a moment for you where don't take this the wrong way. If you ever get a little high on your horse, or, you're ever on the wrong side of, man, I'm really good at this. There's always going to be a moment with you I'll never forget. And this being in your heart is such a humbling moment. It's the last game against the Bears of that 13-win season, 2022. when you got the C, when they gave you
that was special
captaincy.
Special moment.
Well, see, was that your first time getting?
Yeah, that was my first time.
Okay, so I'm on the sideline praying with players and coaches and just doing what I do. You're running around, and I stopped you, and we chatted for a little bit, and I think we prayed. And the things you said to me about what goes into wearing the C and being a captain, just over 45 seconds, obviously I've never forgotten because I'm bringing it up now. But that's like, because your season last year was the bomb, and it's going to get better.
Nope, it is.
But then you can go back to that moment, where what things weren't necessarily then exactly how they are now, including the contract, and just the reverence for somebody believing you are of the leadership variety enough to wear that C.
Yeah, that was just a big moment in my football life. I think I took a big jump after that, and I think that was the second to last game of the year. We played the Giants in the playoff game next week. But even though the season didn't end how we wanted to, for me, being able to get that C on my chest, and for me, it was more like, a guy like Harrison Smith who's playing 1,000 snaps a year, he gets the C on his chest. He's putting in that work for the team. Guys are seeing it. He's being a leader by example. A guy like me, who was really just a leader pretty much through word. Yeah, I play special teams, but that's a one-play phase. We get a lot of fair catches and stuff like that. For me, for my impact to be felt on the team throughout the years, it wasn't just that year. The years leading up. The 3 years leading up to just that moment of me actually getting the C on my chest, it just confirmed a lot of the work that I put in for myself. And, from that point, I just never looked back. I knew it would pay off eventually.
Coming up Saturday, April 20th, I'm honored to be part of an event for a third consecutive year called A Rise with the Guys. It's at Grace Church in Eden Prairie. Tony Dungy has a lot to do with it, but our theme this year we came up with is special. It's about specialists. So Matthew Slater's coming in.
He's special.
David Tyree, okay? Helmet catch in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but you know what? He didn't play that much. And was just a bad bleep special teamer. And CJ Ham's coming by. Really good special teamer.
Really good.
But the theme with that is that of acceptance. And I mean, Matthew, when he came out of UCLA, wanted to play every snap as a receiver. David Tyree from Syracuse, Josh Metellus from Michigan, CJ Ham from Augustana, dynamite running back. But the reality hits sometimes that you have to accept your lot in life, whether you like it or not. But what are you going to do with it? And that's what special teamers do. And just lastly here with special teams, the new kickoff situation. It's weird. I mean, it just looks weird, but we're all going to see it together and see how it works. Do you think it's going to benefit the return teams or the coverage teams?
I think it's going to be really hard for the coverage teams, actually. I think it's going to benefit the return teams. One, because this is a National Football League. You give guys enough time to do something, they're going to become good at it. So, you get... you do the math of how many fair catches we have, you turn those to more, returns, throughout a season, a 17-game season, turn that to 22 if you're, going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or, whatever game, how many games it is. You turn that into however many reps you get to do that. You take guys who are professional athletes, they're going to be able to, master it. So I think, you have electric guys like Kane, who, you give him the ball enough times, he's bound to score a touchdown. And then now you just shorten that for him and you give him more opportunities to do so. Yeah. I think it's going to skyrocket, for especially like the really good ones. You still got Cordell playing. Yep. So, guys like him who's the greatest right now to ever do it, it's just, you give guys more opportunities, more great things to happen.
Lastly, I promise, is do you know what your hierarchy is or like your ranking for famous people from Charles Flanagan High School? I mean, you know about.
I don't know.
You're in there.
I would say I'm up top 5.
Top. Well, it depends on. Let's analyze it like this. Devin Bush, super famous. Yeah. Did you play with Devin?
Yeah, I did. All 4 years at high school.
And Michigan.
3 years at Michigan. His 3 years.
Okay, so there's one. Are you an MMA fan?
I am.
Jim Ehlers?
Okay.
Is it Ehlers? Jay? Alers. Okay,
Ehlers.
Big time MMA guy.
Okay.
Went to Charles Flanagan High School. There's a female name in there that we'll leave her out. Lil Pump.
Who is it? Who's the female?
Oh, I mean, she does films that not everybody can see.
Okay,
so just end it like that, okay?
Okay.
But anyway, Lil Pump.
Lil Pump.
Okay,
yeah.
what about who's more famous? You or
okay, Lil Pump definitely.
No, it's not Little. It's Lil.
Yeah, he's the number one on the list.
He's number one on the list.
He's number one on the list.
Lil Pump. Oh, so you got all his albums.
He's no.
If they still had albums,
I would say the kids know him more than they would know me.
Yeah, I thought he was number one too.
I would say he's number one.
Okay,
I would put myself in that 2 or 3 category.
Well, there's another rapper, and I didn't write down his style of rap. Conceited.
Oh,
who's Conceited?
Freestyle. He's a freestyle.
Yeah.
He's a freestyle guy.
Right. Who is he?
Oh, he's good. He actually is good.
He's not top. He's not ahead of you.
I wouldn't say he's ahead of him, but it depends what area. If you go in that New York, up there, Brooklyn area, they probably know him a lot. They do a lot of freestyling over there.
Yeah.
So they probably know him more than they would know me, but you go back where I'm from.
Yeah. Well, and also where you were in the middle. I mean, you go and end up at some Ann Arbor bar at midnight. They're all going to be running up to you, not Conceited.
I wasn't at the bar.
Excuse me, restaurant that stays open past midnight.
Pizza House.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Pizza House.
Appreciate you, man. Love our chats. Thank you.
That's Vikings safety Josh Metellus with PA yesterday, recorded after our show at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center in Eagan and played back just now. It'll be podcastable, free iHeartRadio app after the show as well. Final couple of segments, 9 to noon around the corner, including your talkbacks. We've asked for them a couple of different times. I got a bunch of talkbacks on deck. One of you will be winning a pair of passes to next week's Miller Lite Vikings draft party next Thursday at U.S. Bank Stadium. You'll get to see the first round frenzy unfold in person with PA and Charch and Ben Lieber, Pete Bursich on stage. We got the smoke machine. We got bright lights. We got beverages. It'll be a blast at U.S. Bank Stadium next Thursday as part of the draft party. So your talkbacks around the corner and an opportunity to win some cash. The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, they want to give you a chance to win, put $1,000 in your hand, National Cash Contest. Use the keyword WIN at KFAN.com. You might win $1,000 with the keyword WIN at KFAN.com.
Hey, PA and Orl. This is Jordan from St. Francis. I got a draft day prediction I haven't heard anyone really talk about yet, but I think that the Vikings are going to move up to number 3, select Drake May, but everyone's going to be celebrating at the draft party, but then soon after that, they're going to realize McCartney is dropping further and further down. He's going to be taken at around 20, and we're going to realize we could have had him at 11, plus a 23 pick, and everyone's going to be upset.
Hell of a prediction there, brother. Well, if McCartney drops, maybe I'm amazed that he would be dropping. I mean, I might turn to silly love songs to ease the mind and or the heart and or call Jerick McKinnon, whose nickname was Jet. But the New England Patriots moving 3 is more probable than I think a lot of people think.
Yeah, but I'll admit, just like Jordan there, I've thought about that where what happens, Vikes move up. You have to be okay with whatever results afterwards, right? So they move up to 3, they move up to 4, whatever it is, they get their guy.
Right.
And McCarthy or somebody does drop. Are you going to sit there and be annoyed? Are you going to obsess and lose sleep over the currency that they spent to move up and get their guy?
Yep.
Versus waiting potentially for a thing you could never have imagined happening in the first place. So it's crossed my mind, though, because it's all I think about.
Let me hit you with a question.
Okay.
Because I've been hit with this question a lot lately, and with Arise with the Guys, which is Saturday at Grace Church, 9 a.m., arisewiththeguys.com. HOF Tony Dungy is there. Our theme this year involves the word special or specialist. So former New England Patriot Matthew Slater, David Tyree, he of the helmet catch variety for the Giants.
What about Greg Coleman? He was special with that boot.
You know what? That's a wonderful idea. But it's interesting you said that because, like with special teamers, some of the conversations we've had, Bob Coughlin is a driving force behind this. His son is Carter Coughlin, who played at the University of Minnesota, plays for the Giants. Is you have special teamers, but then you have punters, and then you have kickers, and then you have returners. So granted they play special teams, but like the from a specialist standpoint, it's that Saturday, arisewiththeguys.com. If you're interested in seeing Tony Dungy and stuff like that, is where you can get tickets. But one of the questions for kind of a sports related bit we do It'll be the third time I've been asked this question. It'll be a Rise with the Guys, Grace Church, Eden Prairie, Saturday at 9. It was the draft preview with Tatum and Gabe, which is at Vikings.com. I think it dropped Monday. And I got asked it on some radio show within the last couple of weeks. And I'm going to ask you the question. And if you need time to think about it, I don't think you will. But if you do, then we can we can put it in the last segment. The Minnesota Vikings draft is a success if
they come out of there with their franchise QB.
Right. And the way I'm phrasing it is if they leave the draft with the quarterback, Kevin O'Connell, and his staff like most. So it's I think I know who KOC likes most, but not enough to really, really like dagger it.
Yeah.
But I believe in him. I believe in that staff, and I believe in their evaluation of quarterbacks. So if they trade up, and really almost no matter what it costs, it's whichever quarterback Kevin O'Connell and his staff adore and love, and a player for whom they have the adulation and or respect.
Yep.
That guy. Then it's a success to me.
I agree, and that's where
we're in lockstep.
Not to belabor it, but that was kind of where I was going with the guy versus a guy. Where if you're that QB quarterback, the quarterback coach marriage, and so if they're making this move next Thursday, I got to believe that that's the guy from their eyes, versus just getting a guy because it's the momentum of the draft and moving all those names up there, and I'm hoping they find the guy.
If they get sniped, and then you got McCartney dropping, and so on and so on. Keaton Slovis, play action to Jones, fires deep left side, caught by JJ. Here comes the con. Push him out of bounds.
I knew as soon as I heard him say McCartney instead of McCarthy, I knew there was going to be something.
Silly love songs, though.
More talkbacks, free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, boys. Geez, this draft talk is just getting stagnant, huh? How about a little chart action? Let's hear some do the opposite picks. What is the do the opposite option for the Vikings? How about this? Trade up to 4th or 5th overall, Cardinals or Chargers, who might like a receiver, thinking we're going QB. We smash the top receiver, then get whatever's left over for QB at 23. How about that?
How about that? Do the opposite, PA. Trade up and get Malik Neighbors.
Well, I don't, with all due respect, my friend, I don't find the quarterback talk to be stagnant. And Nordo and I, and granted, you're listening and you're choosing to listen, and we thank you very much for that, because at the end of the equation, the minute we forget we serve you, well, then we might as well just hang it up. So you are right if it's stagnant to you. But the opportunity to secure a franchise quarterback in a deep quarterback draft and when we say deep quarterback draft, that's more than following the mocks. That's more than reading Dane Brugler or Lance Zierlein. Okay, this is combine-related steam from people in the game who, don't need quarterbacks, so they can be a little more open privately about what they think from what they know, and the names just come trickling off the tongues. I mean, this guy does this. I mean, Spencer Rattler, we started talking about him 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that deep. We're providing Slovis today, because he's one of those guys who I believe will be taken on Saturday and will work for somebody. So I understand, I understand the approach to the utilization of the word, but football always wins. This is a big, big spot for the Minnesota Vikings. And it goes all the way back to really the first mantra and or common thread 9 to noon developed right after the season. And, I said I haven't heard this around Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, but football people all talk the same. So I'm just telling you, it had to have been uttered 8 zillion times in January. Well, this is the last time we're going to be picking around 10. 13 wins and all this, everything, and the 4 quarter. Yeah, we ain't picking around here again. All right, well, if you believe that, and then now you have another one in the first round, whether you want to use the frequently utilized go get your guy, or you want to swing for the fences, it's to say probable that all four of those quarterbacks that make up the majority of this conversation are cinches to star in the NFL, but it's more likely than Young, Stroud, Levis, Newton, Locker, Ponder, Gabbert. This is a unique year. It is very rare when the Minnesota Vikings are picking this high and have 2 first-round picks. So, and they have a quarterback need. So, thus, the emphasis on this with different angles and tentacles and roots to the dagger each and every day. Keaton Slovis just happens to be the newest circumventing of the A topic, courtesy of 9 to Noon.
By the way, you doubt Lance Zierlein. His comparison for Zach Zinter, Graham Glasgow.
Oh wow, that's definitely.
But it's not Marshall Yanda. But if you got Graham Glasgow, he was a 3rd-round pick. He just re-upped for 3 and 20.
If Zinter does not break his leg, he goes end of the 1st round or maybe the 2nd.
It is possible.
So what's next? Broken leg, ACL. From what I understand, not trying to get in the certified athletic trainer meat grinder and deal with text messaging all day. Broken legs, players recover from broken legs more readily and more quickly and just more frequently than ACLs.
Yeah.
Different ways. So, yeah, that's why we came up with the old double Z.
Talkback machine.
Hey, PA and Nordo. Nice show, good show. Loving it. Loving the draft scenarios. But how about this? The Vikings don't trade out. They stay at 11 and 23. They pick up Bo Nix at number 11. And then at number 23, if they stay at number 23, they go with the best center available or the second best center available, since Garrett Bradbury can never make it through a full season. What do you guys think about the best center available at number 23?
Well, that plays into the previous talkback with charges do the opposite. And take, like Bosberg said to me right before the show, almost made me late for Dane Moore. Paul, there's nothing wrong with taking 2 defensive players in the 1st round. I agree. I agree. Darnold, first game, Darnold. 10th game, Darnold, play action. 14th game, Darnold, play action. Fires right. Okay, that's fine. I believe in Sam Darnold and have really for all the way back to the beginning of the 2023 season more than most people.
Week 18 and your season finale.
See, that's right. But if it is your season finale, okay, cool. Is it Dallas Turner?
Dallas Turner,
great.
Alabama.
Okay, season finale, no playoffs. Can't wait to see what year 2 holds for Dallas.
Hell yeah.
Toledo corner.
Ooh, Quinyon Mitchell.
Can't wait to see what year 2 holds for Mitchell. After playing 4 games and maybe missing the playoffs, can't wait to see what next season holds for Drake May. It's different.
It is different.
It hits differently. And
you know what?
If you don't have the right coach and the right quarterback, you're not going to or winning the Super Bowl.
And after absolutely. And after spending selfishly, when I've spent 3.5 months looking at these QBs, sweating these QBs,
right?
You're going to make me go back to the well and think about Quinn Ewers a year from now? No.
Okay, now, would you say, without getting too biblically sound, 9 to Noon does its very best to be the thy, not I covenant?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure, right? On and off the mic.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm going to, you can be I all you want right now with what I'm about to say. You're 2 months from your 3rd child.
Correct.
Having no picks in the first 2 rounds next year is a blessing your friend sees now that you don't see. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
just put
100%.
Just put that in your back pocket.
I like that.
If you don't have the right coach and the right quarterback, what do you have? I know we have the right coach. I just know we do. Is Darnold the right quarterback? Maybe. Maybe. He's fine. Or are one of the 3 bandied about absolutely the right quarterback? Those are things 9 to Noon thinks about. Thus, Nordo and I are in lockstep. The Minnesota Vikings draft is a success if. We both basically said the same thing. if Kevin O'Connell and his offensive staff get exactly the quarterback they prefer from this draft. If it's wrong, I'll roll with that take. I will roll with them, even if it's wrong. But that's the preference of 9 to noon.
Final segment, 9 to noon, brought to you by Casey's. Whether it's Casey's Rewards, saving on food and fuel, or eating their elite pizza, Casey's, the only spot to go.
I can't wait.
And I got a pair of Vikings draft party tickets to give away.
I've loved our talkbacks the last couple of weeks.
No, I think they've been awesome.
Nice job, everybody.
And as steam has picked up around the QB spot, everyone researching for Keaton Slovis highlights, some of our listeners are very much keyed in on potential tampering-related bits with the Falcons and flopping picks.
Yeah.
Tom, here is your talkback of the day.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my talk back. Just wondering when you guys think the NFL will announce that the Vikings and the Falcons are swapping first-round picks as part of the punishment for Atlanta tampering with Cousins. Do you think the league is going to wait until draft day to make that announcement? And if so, the Vikings waiting to have that number 8 pick in their back pocket before pulling the trigger on a trade-up with 23 and whatever else to go get their quarterback. Thanks, guys.
How about that from Tom, your talkback of the day?
I mean, it's looming.
It is.
I mean, it is. Florio got super loud about it, really first about, because he was at the Combine and he's talking to a lot of the same people who would be involved in this, and Florio wasn't like tampering as being, he's like it was blatant. It was,
Yeah.
So this is looming. A pick swap, 8 to wow.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Florio would float the idea of 8 and 11 arbitrarily? Or do you think there's something behind that specifically?
Well, I think there was a tampering bit in the relatively recent past where there was a pick swap.
Well, I know that
Miami and somebody or something?
It was. Well, Miami had to forfeit a first-round pick because of the Stephen Ross, Tom Brady thing, I believe.
Yeah.
It was the Eagles and maybe somebody else. Was it Macklin maybe? That was that's years ago.
Or Jordan Matthews. No, it might have been Macklin. Yeah, I think you're right.
Jeremy Macklin.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know but it wasn't first round though.
Right.
I thought it was like a third-round pick swap. But the Vikings don't have a third-rounder, so Goodell's like, well, we got to do the first.
Right, but see, if it were Atlanta bleeped up and is going to have to pay, and it was significant, so you're flipping with the Vikings. I mean, if we're going to dream, let's dream.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, there could be a first-round flip, 8 and 23. I mean, what if we end up with 8 and 11?
Wow.
I mean, 8 and 11, and I'll still be told when I roll into work, there's nothing wrong with taking 2 defensive players at 8 and 11. I ain't going to argue with you because I'm too freaking tired right now, all right? Thank you very much for listening to 9 to Noon. Eric Nordquist produces, and I'm Paul Allen. The Wolves box Alan Horton joins 9 to Noon in studio tomorrow. Ben Lieber in studio at 10 o'clock. And fresh off a Boston Marathon, chock full of Viking speculation, the scribe, Ben Gessling from Star Tribune. He'll join at 11 o'clock. I'm Paul Allen. Thank you very much for permitting us the opportunity to serve you today. And thank you very much for choosing to listen to 9 to Noon and or FM 100.3 KFAN. Your good times later.
9 to Noon.
If it's good news or money, leave a message.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.